So, what drives the trade between two nations? How do the nations engage in trade, and why do the nations engage in trade? So, let's look these details through the video on Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Welcome you all to the new video. Today we have factor endowments and the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Heckscher-Ohlin theory is also called the modern theory of trade. This is in fact the modern theory of trade, as it fixes the deficiencies of the traditional trade theory or the classical trade theory. This is also called the HO theory of trade or and factor endowment theory of international trade. This is factor endowment theory, and it is also called factor proportions theory of international trade. And this is to fix the comparative advantage. And what determines the comparative advantage? According to the HO theory, the comparative advantage is determined by the comparative differences in cost that will be measured on the basis of factor abundance and factor intensities of two nations. As I said, this is factor endowment theory or factor proportions theory. So, according to the theory, labor abundant nations export labor intensive commodity, capital abundant nations export capital intensive commodity. Why? Because labor abundant nations will have the comparative advantage on labor intensive commodities. Similarly, capital abundant nations will have the comparative advantage over the capital intensive commodities. The HO theory really confirm the prevalence of comparative advantage as the basis of trade. But what determines the basis of trade? What determines the comparative advantage is the point of discussion. It is factor proportion according to Heckscher and Ohlin. According to the theorem, according to the Heckscher-Ohlin theory, the factor abundance, factor proportion will make will determine the comparative advantage for the two nations. So, as per the theory, labor abundant nations will export labor intensive commodities, and capital abundant nations will export capital intensive commodities. For example, United States as a capital abundant nations can export capital intensive commodity to India. India, on the other hand, as a labor abundant nation, can export labor intensive commodities to the United States. Why? Because United States is a capital rich nation, it is a capital abundant nation. So, United States has got the comparative advantage on the capital intensive commodity. So, they can specialize in capital intensive commodities production, so and they can export that commodity to the labor intensive labor abundant country of India. On the other hand, India as a labor surplus nation or capital short nation, so we can concentrate on the production of labor intensive commodity, and we can export the commodity to the United States, which is a capital rich or labor short nation. So, the comparative advantage here is determined by the differences in factor proportion. So, that is the point of discussion in the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. So, in line with Heckscher-Ohlin theory, United States export aircraft, spacecraft and aircraft parts to India. On the other hand, India as a labor surplus nation export textile, which is a labor intensive industry, export to United States. So, United States export aircraft to India. India in turn export textile commodities to the United States. So, this is the pattern of trade devised by the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. So, this is the basis of trade. All the trade theories deal with the basis of trade. Comparative advantage is considered as the basis of trade, even in the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. But what determines the comparative advantage is the point of difference among economists. According to Heckscher and Ohlin, comparative advantage is measured by the comparative differences in cost of production that is affected by the factor abundance and factor intensity. So the trade ultimately depends on trade abundance, not just labor cost of production, as unlike visualized by the classical theory of trade. So as per the theory, capital abundant nations have got that advantage, comparative advantage over capital intensive commodities. Capital intensive goods are in fact cheaper in capital abundant nations or capital rich nations, as capital is plenty in the capital abundant nations. At the same time, labor abundant nations have got the comparative advantage over labor intensive commodities because the labor abundant nations are able to produce the labor intensive commodity at cheaper cost, as labor is cheaper in labor abundant nations because of higher lower capital labor ratio or higher labor capital ratio in the labor abundant nations. So that means capital is cheap in capital abundant nations and labor is cheap in the labor abundant nations. That means labor is cheaper in India, wage rate is lower than that of United States. At the same time, capital is cheaper in the United States, cheaper than India, as United States is a capital rich nation. So the cost of production of capital intensive commodities will be lower in the United States than in India. At the same time, the production of labor intensive commodities will be lower in India than United States. So let's look origin of the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. Heckscher-Ohlin theory or factor proportions theory is developed by Eli Heckscher and his student Bertil Ohlin. So these are the Swedish economists who developed the factor proportions theory of international trade, and this is developed from their study on international trade, and this is the theory which that follows the classical and neoclassical trade theories. Classical theory focused on the agrarian based trade where the export and import will take place on the agrarian commodities or agricultural commodities with little manufacturing sector, and labor was considered as the sole factor of production according to the classical economists, but that was questioned by the later economists, and Heckscher and Ohlin included capital with labor, and that is actually the major point of discussion in the theory, as the factor proportions, as the differences in factor proportions will determine the comparative advantage, as capital abundant nations will have the comparative advantage on capital intensive commodities, and labor abundant nations will have the comparative advantage over labor intensive commodities. So the Heckscher-Ohlin theory was developed to fix the deficiencies of the classical and neoclassical theories of trade. Classical theory of trade failed to explain why do the comparative cost difference happen between two nations. So that deficiency was fixed by the modern theory of trade. As per the Heckscher-Ohlin theory or modern theory of trade, the differences in comparative cost between two nations is determined by the differences in factor proportions or factor abundance. So that is the major contribution of the theory. So let's finish the first part of the Heckscher-Ohlin theory with capital labor ratio for various commodities and various nations. The capital labor ratio can be written as K by L. This is K stands for capital, L stands for labor. So K by L stands for capital labor ratio for various commodities and various nations. So when for the capital intensive commodities, K by L ratio will be higher. That means K will be more than labor. That means if capital labor ratio is greater than 1, that means K is greater than L. Suppose the K's value is $100 billion and labor's value is $50 billion. Then 100 by 50 is 2. That means the capital labor ratio is 2. That is the case for the capital intensive commodities and capital abundant nations. So come to the labor intensive commodities and labor abundant nations, the capital labor ratio will be lower than that of capital intensive commodities. When capital labor ratio is less than 1, that means that is the capital labor ratio for the labor intensive commodities. For example, the cotton farm sector. So in the cotton farm sector, the capital labor ratio will be less than 1 in the most case. Or we can say that the capital labor ratio for a country like India will be lower than 1, as we have the labor surplus and capital shortage. So our capital labor ratio is supposed to be less than 1. At the same time, the capital labor ratio for the United States, a capital rich nation, will be mostly greater than 1. And suppose a capital's value is $50 billion, labor's value is $100 billion. That means that for the labor intensive commodities or labor abundant nations, the K by L ratio will be less than 1. That means, for example, K is 50, L is 100. 50 by 100 is 0.5. 0.5, that means it is less than 1. It shows the intensity of factors. So the capital labor ratio of greater than 1 shows the higher capital intensity, and capital labor ratio of less than 1 shows the lower capital intensity or higher labor intensity. So let's look the details of the Heckscher-Ohlin theory, the assumptions of the theory, the arguments of the theory and its criticisms of the theory in the coming parts. Thank you.